For the past 2 years, I've been one of our impact presenters. Last year, I was our impact coordinator, and this year, I'm one of our business leaders.
I'm Lily. Last year, I was an impact presenter and the award coordinator, and this year, I am the president of the Road One.
And I'm Maddie. Last year, I was the development director, and this year, I'm also business.
Great. Okay, so what exactly is this session? This session is about building and strengthening your outreach. It is about how we conceived of our work. There are other ways. This is just one. It's about creating effective and specific outreach targeted at problems in your community, and it is based on our long-term effort to create impactful outreach. We've been submitting for impact for 11 years now. This is not a quick process. This is not a how-to guide or a tutorial on outreach, again, and not a one-size-fits-all. What works for our team might not work for yours. And this is not about winning the first impact award. However, the next talk that we're giving right after this, How to Impact, is about using competitive strategies for submitting for the impact award. And so if you are wondering about that, please say.
Okay, so I'm going to do an overview. So we're going to talk about definitions, significance, and activity. Okay, so what do we mean when we say barriers and bridges? Barriers and bridges is where we conceived our outreach. It's this idea of community-based effective outreach and making and creating initiatives that target specific issues within one's community. And then we're going to define barriers and bridges.
Cool. So for the first step of this model, identify your community. So you're going to want to ask yourself who it is that you want to help or where you want to make a difference. Great. So what is a community? For our purposes, it is whatever your outreach or wherever your outreach is geared toward. And some examples are students in Philadelphia schools, students in Australia. It could even be older residents in Houston. I don't know why we thought of that example.
Okay, so your
Yellow people in Houston, yeah.
Your community can be who you want to help or where you want to help. It doesn't have to be both. So community doesn't just have to be a place. It can also be a group of people that you're targeting, like women in STEM or people with disabilities. Okay, and then get to know your community. Once you've identified who and where you want to work, talk to the people within that community. This is so important because even if you live there, you might not fully understand all of the issues that your community faces. By talking to other people, you get to hear about other perspectives and gain more insights on the issues that face your community. And then one key to effective outreach is knowing your community. By knowing your community and knowing the issues they face, you're able to create specific solutions that solve those issues. And don't assume you already know everything, because you probably don't. No one knows everything.
Okay, so and one example for the last slide actually. When we were first starting out, we didn't realize that one of the biggest issues that stopped our people in our city from participating in STEM events was that they couldn't get there. Through talking to them, going to community events, we learned that one of the biggest reasons that people weren't there is because they literally couldn't get there. And so what we did instead was we started providing buses to and from our events. That's just an example. So the next step is creating goals. Ask yourself what you want for your community. What is your objective? Okay, great. So goals are the specific and measurable objectives of your outreach. Some examples are getting FLL teams in every school in your district, getting accessible STEM opportunities for disabled adults in your town, or creating access to STEM events in your city. Every person has a different goal for their team.
Okay, and then determining barriers. So you're going to ask yourself why your community hasn't reached the school already and what is getting in the way. So a barrier is an issue or problem that prevents a person or group from accomplishing a certain goal or task. So a barrier to participating in FRC could be the cost of FRC programs. Or a barrier to starting teams at schools is because there's a lack of teacher support. And another example is that students are unable to attend certain events because they cannot get to that use of transportation. Okay, and then building bridges. Ask yourself what your community needs to overcome these barriers. Okay. So for our purposes, a bridge is an action that solves a problem, enabling a group or person to overcome a barrier in order to achieve their goal. So some of these examples that relate back to the barriers on the last slide are providing grants to schools so they can start FRC teams, paying teachers for the time they spend coaching and training those teachers, and then providing students with public transportation passes or shuttle services to and from events. As you can all see, these are all specific bridges that connect back to the barriers. So some of them are small initiatives, but they solve a big problem. And that's kind of what we're all about, thinking specifically about the issues in our community and then creating unique solutions to solve those issues. So what? Okay, so we're telling you all about these ideas so that you can focus your outreach, target specific issues, and generate effective solutions. It is so important to focus your outreach on one specific community so that you're able to really have a deep and meaningful impact on that community. We think that outreach is about actually changing lives and making a difference in our community, not just the reach that you have. I think it gets a little confusing for teams. Sometimes people think that reach and just talking to people about first is important, and while that's great, it's also important to really dig deep in your community. And if your goal is to start first, actually start first teams and get that ingrained into your community instead of just demoing your robot.
Yeah, we like to say that that outreach really is not a checklist, and there's no specific formula. There's no 10 things that you can do that are going to make you win the first impact award. Really, what the core of it is impact. You're trying to have a meaningful effect on the people that you are reaching, the people that you are talking to.
And then targeting specific issues. A lot of teams are going to face different issues because we're all from different places. So thinking about how we can target specific issues and solve our own issues is one, and through that, you can do that through thinking of barriers and then generating effective solutions, the bridges, thinking about what unique solutions you can create to solve the problems that you have noticed in your community.
And then adding on to that, an example, a lot of teams start teams in other countries because they think that's something that they have to do to get impact. And while it's amazing for them to do, when they don't understand the community of the country that they're in and what the actual barriers are, it's difficult to effectively help those people. So while you are starting a first team or like an FL team there, it may not be making the difference that starting a team somewhere where you can help them a lot more.
But that's great. If you want to start a team in, say, Italy, you absolutely do that. But the important part is getting to know that community, right? Talk to those people. Actually, get to know their barriers. Like, what are the things that are stopping them from reaching these goals?
Okay, so we're gonna practice.
Okay, so we wrote this paragraph of a maybe not fake team named the Chili Chilies. Anyone want to read it out? If no one else raises their hands, one of these guys. Thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you.
We are team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Chili Chilies. Phase out of council group. Okay. As we have faced numerous challenges that have prepared us. You got it. From succeeding in first, we live in the Rios community and Okay, so we live in a rural community and residents around us are unable to get access to high quality STEM materials. Over the years, we've also realized that there are no volunteers to run first events and few STEM professionals to guide teams. To combat these issues and help our town grow a STEM community, we pay people to staff our events, virtually connect teams with STEM professionals from across the country, and provide FLL and FTC kits to schools throughout our community.
So we're gonna identify the bridges and barriers and community that this team has. Or I guess we're going to identify their community and figure out what the bridges and barriers are. So who can find what this team's community is? What are some key phrases in here that tell you about the place that this team or people that these teams are coming from?
I live in like rural Kansas.
Great.
Yes.
To find this, I literally searched up rural places in Kansas. I kid you not.
Okay, and then who can tell us one of the barriers that this team is facing?
Or their community. Yes.
The residents aren't able to get the STEM materials that they need.
Awesome. What else?
Another barrier.
Yes.
Over the years, they realize that they don't have volunteers to run first events.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Okay, and then one last barrier.
They have no mentors around them.
Yes, that's perfect. Okay, and then can someone tell us the 3 bridges that they created to solve these issues? Yes.
Okay, defense staff.
Yes.
Awesome.
2 more.
They're all listed one after. Yes, Austin.
Virtually connect teams with STEM mentors.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yes.
Provide a lot of PC kits to companies.
Great.
Amazing job, guys. That was perfect.
We just want to show you got them all right. Good job. I don't know how you did that. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to brainstorm. Maddie, you want to introduce this activity?
Yes, okay.
This is our first time giving this presentation ever, by the way. We are like preparing to do this multiple times, but this is our first time, so it's going to be a little bit rough. Bear with us, please.
Okay, so first step, everyone's gonna think about their community that they live in and identify a goal for your community. It can be anything.
Yep. Identify your community and let's think of a goal. So you guys have like
2 minutes.
Sure, whenever. No, it's good. The silence means
If
thinking.
you want to
I'm
think
thinking.
with members of your team, you can think with
Oh,
members.
absolutely.
That was so
That sounds like such a
Very good.
Now, everybody's gonna stand up and find a friend or person on another team that they have never met before. Yeah, they're gonna introduce themselves and tell them about their community and
And a
Barrier
barrier
that they have on their community.
and a goal that they have for their community. So go ahead. Iris and I will join. Hi. Hi. I'm Lily. This is me. I don't care. Keep Sarah. Let's go. Awesome. Let's go find a chair. No, you don't have that. What do you guys Awesome. So your community all over the media. Like, there's like different parts, like social things, like the south side, that's what, that's like the town. Yeah, so right down, like, just the mic. Basically, that's
Everybody's talking about is that a golden face layer talk about one barrier very community has to fix like reaching that goal. And I mean, like go with more people, or most people weren't over there in bigger groups. So you can just talk to bigger groups again, I don't know. Yeah, you got 5 more minutes.
Can you repeat what you
So yeah, what are some barriers that you're seeing? Why haven't they you know what I mean? Like, so for us, it's like, why oh, language, that's just like partially because like a lot of our teachers are like internal students, but they know about how to influence the system. What would happen is, especially when you're and then my mom said, just say it here, but that don't mean that
For those who knows what me my mom.
And share to everybody what someone they possibly
My name is my real name. So
From
You all have autism. If you're on a first team, you have autism. I don't make it.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, are there any questions? Well, yeah, first can we get some share out? So what are some interesting things you called or heard? Yes.
So for our community, we chose like the LGBTQ community, and for our goal, we were trying to say like lower the discrimination among that community, especially in the STEM community. And for Bear, we say like in rural areas, there's a lot of stigma and students don't feel comfortable expressing themselves. And so for solutions into like brainstorming strategy, just like getting people introduced to more information. Because like in rural areas, like some people who are not as adapted to technology or confined to the small bubble of a smaller town, they often have that stigma stick around them for a longer period of time.
Awesome, absolutely, that's a really great answer, that's incredibly, a great thought process, I really love that. That's a great example of taking a goal, finding a barrier, and then creating a solution. Anybody else? Yeah, I saw him.
The people, I'm not gonna name them, but they're gonna probably laugh when I say it, their school literally hates them. So they had to deal with that because they have to pay for their own gym, so they deal with that by fundraising. They have to deal with it by fundraising a lot. And they broke that barrier with like on the back of their shirts, they have all the sponsors.
Awesome, that's a great example. Anyone else wanna share anything? Yeah?
Me and my partner, something that our communities had in common was like the low income teachers. So a lot of people can't afford to get into STEM. And our sort of solution was making camps and activities that are free admission, but are able to get kids interested in STEM activities.
That's really great. I think just talking about like the drawing parallels in communities, I think it's so important, like when we're talking about communities, to connect, because a lot of people face similar issues, and then you can help other teams and other communities solve those issues if you face the same ones. So it's a great way to collaborate with other people.
And while our communities are entirely different, like I know we live in an entirely different area than the people that I was talking to. And at the same time, a lot of the problems, or some of the problems that we were facing, not all of them, were similar and could be built using the same types of initiatives. So while keeping it very specific, I'll do it. So me and my friend goes to the section that is really difficult. Because 3 years ago, they had a problem with their principal. Some students was walking out. Then last year, we had another problem where students walked out, went to different places, and then some students got in trouble because of one student. And now this year, we're trying to make people join like different communities. Like, go help us with another community down in south, and the others will help in north. Meanwhile, we're trying to have people join different parts of the clubs, but more of freshmen coming up, they're not participating. With the Keystone coming up, people is like, I don't want to do this anymore. Then you have some 12th graders left the whole school, never coming back. That's great, like, I love, you can kind of see the barrier bridge, you know, and that's really interesting. Thank you for sharing. Cool. Okay, anyone else really wanna share? Or do you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions for us about, like, actually anything? I'm happy to be into the meaning of life, I don't know much about it, but, yes.
Are you guys actually naming your outreach team the Chili Chilies?
No. I mean. So,
it's a joke.
I know you guys talk
Okay.
about it.
Okay, we wanted to name, we're starting a second team, and we thought about the Philly Chilies. We're from Philly, and we love chili peppers. Okay,
It's a great,
we decided not to put it in, but then I'm over now. This genius was like, the chili, killed chilies.
And
So
so,
like, that genius.
so we were basically living out our fantasies through our,
Yeah.
through our.
And originally the made up team was in Michigan, so it made more sense. But then we were told we couldn't do Michigan.
So we decided not to.
Why not Michigan?
Because they
Because
have.
we said it was a rural team.
Yeah, we said Ann Arbor was a rural team because.
I just don't like Michigan.
Yeah, any other questions? Or name suggestions?
Should we name our team?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I might be mixing up you guys with another team, but if you guys are the ones that are, soup themed, you should just name any of
There's no, that would be like, oh, 2, 3 is soup.
Oh, we're the geese.
We were the goose.
I know, and those things, have you ever remember the movie called,
It wasn't a fish.
Ratatouille? Yeah, absolutely. So once, I was thinking earlier about a team name for our team, and I was like, Ratatouille.
The ratatouille. Okay, someone write that down because
I think it's good.
I like that. I like the ratatouille.
Chilies would be a good name for like Alaska or something.
Right?
Yeah.
We're not in Alaska, which is kind of a shame. We want to. Would anybody like to talk about how they could use this concept in their outreach? Are there any barriers that you guys are facing or that you guys have that you would like a group brainstorm? Or we have more time than we would love to talk.
I'll bring one up, especially because we have so many high school students in here, so I'd like to hear from other students. We're having a really hard time recruiting new members, especially since, and we were talking about that. Since COVID, like the numbers have been decreasing. Some teams I think are starting to grow again, but we're still struggling with a small team and not having new members.
Absolutely. Are there any identifiable problems to why? So like, is there?
Well, it's a small school and we're only allowed to have our students.
Okay, cool. So does anybody have an idea? What are some ways that we can bring up recruitment in a small school which can only have that school?
There.
So it's not like super formal, but for my team, what I love doing is like I arrange like offsite team bonding events. So I feel like the closer you feel with each other, these are the people that you spend hours and hours with. The closer you feel with people on the team, the more likely like team members will bring their friends. Because what I see happening usually is like huge friendships between different people, and more people just start coming in once people actually feel comfortable and feel like the team's happy.
That's some great advice, yes.
You can try to create like a little meeting to show about your robotics. Like show like 2 or 3 of your mods and just walk them minimally and show what they can do.
To the whole school, are you saying, or just having meetings, like with anybody who's interested?
So the whole school, and if they cut their attention, you can have some people joining in. That's what they literally did. But for our school, we did it different. We had like a whole, how do you call that? The gym. We use our gym because our Two things. We had our gym because our assembly room wasn't working for us. So we got the gyms, we got the lunches out, and we had people exploring all the things that they could do.
Yeah.
In our school, we kind of like advertise it a little bit, like we like make it a thing, like I think someone made a video and then we show that video during program, or like we especially advertise it at our activities first, kind of like that basically. We also, I think you were on my second friend, like that's like a big thing. Helped a lot. Our numbers like statistically have increased a bit. And also like in our we have a school newspaper and like school newspaper, so I'm on that and a lot of us are on there, so we write articles or like show photos from our events, such as like our girl power event. We made like a photo collage and that was on the Campfield website, which is our newspaper, and so people do that and it's in robotics. Okay.
Yeah, something I would suggest personally is either talk to the student body or have your kids talk to the student body, figure out like what exactly it is that is stopping them from joining. So like is it that they it's a time commitment? Is it the transportation? Like what are the barriers to joining your team? And that'll help you get more specific.
I've got like two parts to answer. One, build something ridiculous. As a freshman, I was recruited by a chair bot. It's just a chair on a robot. So at the beginning of our school year, all the freshmen are in the school for, I imagine other schools do it too, like a roster run or whatever, learning things. Whenever everyone is in the school, have a robot out. They're gonna pass it to people that are interested, they're gonna see it. Have your students around it looking like, even if you have to tell them to pretend they're having fun, have everyone around that thing look like they're having a good time. Make it seem like something that everyone outside wants to join and be a part of. I guess that is the second part, the showing you're having fun. But building something ridiculous usually always works. Like anyone that's even like partially interested in like the STEM field, they're going to see that like, whoa. That's crazy. Y'all made that? Like, and then they're gonna get there and like, no, we don't do that. We build robots, but you already got them in the door. You already got them there to see what you might do and get them interested in it. So build some eye-catching that they can see happen.
I'll get big to it. I was going to add to that because my freshman year we had like this robot demonstration where we had like it's like a school field day where people just kind of walk around and we just put out like our little robot that we built and basically let students drive around, and that really caught their eyes. And then the beginning of my sophomore year, last year, we kind of took our main big FRC robot and kind of like slapped it right in the middle of the hallway. And then like in the beginning of the school day when everyone's walking around, so that caught like a lot of eyes. And like what I noticed that during these two like demonstrations was that a lot of people will kind of go up and ask you questions and stuff like that. So you kind of talk to them and like basically kind of come off as like basically like what they'll say, like make it kind of sound fun. So kind of get them in the door. That's the things.
We also say that a lot of people in our school, they're like, and they assume robotics is just STEM, but we tell them we're not STEM people, we're just people interested in STEM. And we also say like robotics isn't just STEM, it's also impact. There's business, we do all social media and we recently made TikTok page and people are having so much fun with that. We advertise that it's not just STEM and we're not STEM people, but just people interested in STEM. Yeah.
All right, so this is something that you said it's a small school, everybody kind of knows everybody. Host an open shop, just one of the days after school, be like, everybody come down and I'll show you what it's like. And it might be a little chaotic, but people will be like, whoa, what's going on? This is cool. Or they'll be like, oh, maybe this isn't for me, but I know a friend of mine who might like this. You know, just like our shop's in the basement, so like people don't even know it exists until we tell them. So if that's kind of similar to what y'all have going on, then like let people know that you're there. I'm sure you are already, but like, you know, give them a chance to like see, I guess.
And just at our school, so like even at our school, a common sentiment that is like the biggest thing that I find that stops people from joining robotics is a lot of them have the mentality of, oh, I'm like not smart enough to, which is an odd sentiment because it's just an odd sentiment. But what we try to do to advertise that is that, to get rid of that worry from people, is that on anything that we ever post about trying to get people to join the team or anything, we're constantly trying to tell everyone it's intro. You need no experience. We will teach you from scratch into learning something. So I'm sure that might be I'm sure that would definitely help people actually see and join and feel confident enough to actually put themselves out there.
Like we had the same problem this year, and so to try and recruit more people, we got an assembly for my entire school. We kind of modified the game that we played this year and got a little handheld cart, and we'd have one person sit on the front and then one person push, and we'd have them get the game pieces and play, and then they'd verse the robot. And so I feel like it was just like a fun game for like to show, hey, your friend can actually play, and sadly we lost somehow, which I think is even funnier. The teachers beat us, but I think just get out in front of the entire school and play something that is interacting with the audience, and like just show, like the people that are driving it are also someone who just joined last year. Like they did not know anything. You can join from any point.
Yeah, I find with recruiting, what really helps, like, I mean, I knew nothing coming in. I don't think any of us knew anything coming into this crazy thing that we do. And now we know a little bit. Yeah, more, and then.
Yeah, kind of going along with what both of you have said. What we do is we do these pre-season, like, tiny little project. Like, it can be things as simple as cutting something out of a piece of wood and letting them think it and giving them a chance to do it. I think smaller project like that makes them lower the expectation they have going into robotics, because there is a stereotype of you have to be super good at coding and super good at engineering in general if you're FRC. So by creating simpler project and just like getting kids that have no idea what engineering is involved in doing these projects can make them feel like this is a lot closer to them than it should be.
Did you want to say something?
No, sorry. Okay, cool. One more, do we want to go with one more barrier, or do we want to talk? Okay, great. Yeah, so any other questions?
Yeah, anything.
So, if you do have questions, especially after this, next slide. Thank you. Again, this is our first time doing this, so we're still tweaking things.
So if you ever want to talk to us or ask any more questions, we have our Instagram here, our website here. You can DM us, email us, anything. We'd love to hear from you. And then also, we're going to have an Impact Q&A on the unofficial FRC Discord on October 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then that QR code, the one on the end, is for the form that you can put questions on. And then during the Q&A, we're going to answer them and answer any live questions.
You're welcome.
And then we'll also be posting or recording and written answers to all of those questions online. But yeah, if you can come, if you're interested, it's going to be a party. Highly recommend it. Yeah.
Y'all related to the Discord?
I think that it's discord.gg/FRC, but I can figure that out.
Yeah. If anyone else wants to join the Discord.
Yeah, let me know. It's a really, really great, resource.
Love Discord. Oh yeah, and if you talk and you didn't get a Kit Kat because we forgot to throw them after a while, you can come up, or if you just want a Kit Kat, you can also just come up. So, yeah, anyway.
I'm still right
I have a presentation.
Like 15 minutes, bro.
I'm hoping Ryan was doing it last year, scared of everyone to never show up.
You're gonna get back a Kit Kat. Ryan's smart. I'll text him. Someone had a rush.
And one more thing, okay, so you can schedule, so last
You have to put these.
No, he's not allowed that. Let's not again.
yeah, so after that, Q&A, still have questions, schedule one-on-one, we'll sit and talk about your essays, visions, whatever. We like to talk about it, in case you can't tell. And also, coming up soon, the student advisory committee of the Hall of Fame is going to be reviewing the impact essays and submissions. So watch out for that. It's not up yet and it's not out yet. I just wanted to give you a heads up because, I don't know, I'd like to see a bunch of FMA. Yeah. Cool. Okay, now continue doing whatever you were doing. Is there anyone else who's not in the Discord? Oh, sorry, the Discord.
We're not, you okay?
No, so you're.
That's just a lot of work.
I got lucky. I have like really, I have cookies going naturally. I don't actually. It's so annoying. I have that's also Jason. I only have like, I hate you guys. No, you will not. I'm not sure.
I know, I need
Exactly. Who actually like leaves her and makes it not look like a different head on the McDonald's flyer? Make sure hair not too much. No, when you. He just said he uses shampoo and conditioner. Like, please don't be the only one doing that.
actually invite them.
Yeah, there's your barrier. It's called owning shampoo. Listen up, listen up. I'm gonna body off on your street and we're leaving. You did last year and.
Whenever we have like this.
He actually didn't know what condition it was.
I asked the wrong question. That was the wrong answer. It was the wrong word.
I think you want Memphis Street and you're gonna learn how to survive. I don't give a how my hair was like that. Every time I go by there, I'm walk like that. And then when I ask you have 3 in 1. I am sure that's why he said 4 in 1. He said 4 in 1. 4 in 1? What is the 4th thing? I don't know. It's just 4 in 1 and I take it. The better. I can't stand y'all. It's not even that Jonathan. John, this is why you're not allowed on the Discord.
I know so much of you. I know
Two separate bottles.
What is that?
I learned that just
The moon's gonna blow up? No, not the fake ones, are not fake. Yeah, you're right. They're real, but they do nothing else. I thought people were pretty hard. You get it wrong. Yeah, Jonathan on Memphis. You know what Memphis is? The street in between Allegheny and Kensington. Memphis is the street in between. Guess where? That's my whole street. It's because I grew up in between Memphis and Allegheny, or not Memphis, Kensington and Allegheny. I live on.
We're trying to figure it out. Yes, we do. We need more chairs. We have these chairs now. You keep this so up. Yo, I'm gonna.
He's dropping Memphis.
Yo, would you imagine if that was your spawn point? I did not choose that. I won that team one! It's diabolical. You're banned $80. You're banned from living. Get out.
Yeah, like it's a lot. Yeah. All of us, it'll be like 5 minutes.
Did you all see the chairs? Then we need to go back to the other conference. There were like 10 people.
If we were ever You know what's gonna change? But they're no longer going to come up. You don't make that. So she makes